Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Snug Wrestling. We're going to be going over NXT's No Mercy from this weekend. Everyone's been talking about NXT, man. They had a crazy ass show, and I didn't realize that this weekend was going to be full of wrestling. Excuse my voice or my face if you're watching this, man. Yes, I'm still so fucking hungover from last night, but we're going to pull through this because we did have one hell of a show. I got Tommy here with me, and fuck, dude, besides Friday Night SmackDown, there was NXT. They had their PLE, TNA had their pay per view too, and even AAA. Uh, so there was a shit ton of wrestling just in the WWE. Not even thinking about, AEW. They had their collision too. So man, I was able to catch this NXT No Mercy, and I'm glad I did, man. It was a crazy, crazy show. How you doing, Tommy?
Yo, feeling good. Went to my con. Finally got this bad boy signed by who I wanted to get it signed by. Good old Samoa Joe. So everything's good on my end, man. Like it
Yeah.
feels good.
How was that like? How was that interaction? Was he cool with you, or what'd you say to him?
The main question I asked him was that I knew he had a match with Bray Wyatt in the past around like 2017. And I asked him like what Bray meant to him before he passed. And what he
That's a good
said
question.
was that as soon as he passed, he felt like he lost a best friend at that point.
Ah, damn. Damn, that's a good question. What made you want to ask him, out of everything, what made you want to ask him that specifically?
That was one of the questions I really wanted to ask him. But the other one that I completely forgot to ask him was what was the origins of the nope spot? I was gonna ask
Oh,
him that,
yeah.
but completely forgot to.
Well, hey, maybe you can ask him if we get him on the show one of these days because you got his
Oh
contact
yeah,
info, right?
yeah. That's I got it, and then I sent it to you. That was like the first thing
Mhm.
I did was send you the picture of it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that. It'd be cool to get Samoa Joe up in here to talk to us about whatever he wants to talk about. But yeah, dude, were you able to catch NXT live in real time while it was happening, or did you like have to go back and rewatch it?
I watched it live. It was after the con is already closed and all of that, so I was home and I was ready to watch it and all of that.
And just really quick before we get into the matches, what was your overall thoughts about this one? Because a lot of people were not happy about some of the outcomes, some of the winners of these matches, and that's just wrestling fans in general. That's just how they are. They always find something to complain about. I mean, we do that shit all the time here too.
Yeah.
But I thought overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. But what did you think?
I also thought that overall it was a pretty good show, a possible soon call up for somebody in the main event, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Actually, let's start with that one because that was one of the matches that a lot of people were not happy to see Ricky Saints become the NXT champion, especially the way that I guess some fans felt like Obafemi should have not gone out the way that he did because he's been built up like the beast and the monster that he is. I guess people were not expecting Obafemi to lose to someone like Ricky Saints because of the big size difference. Um, but I thought this match was fucking. It was awesome, man. I thought it was uh, well done. This was the main event: Ricky Saints versus Obafemi for the NXT Championship match, and the finish was, Ricky Saints hit a DDT on Obafemi on the announce table, then a second DDT on the floor, and finally a third DDT in the ring. And that was enough to take down Obafemi. I mean, we're talking about three DDTs here. Besides the match going as long as it did, which was at least, I want to say 15, 20-minute match. And throughout that whole entire match, Ricky Saints was working Obafemi. Obafemi was mostly in control, but Ricky Saints was able to pick up the win, dude. And I thought it was well deserved by Ricky Saints. He's really fucking good. But how did you feel about seeing Obafemi get pinned this way, Tommy?
I actually liked it because my thought process was man is getting the Roman Reigns treatment. This is almost the same way that Cody beat Roman for the undisputed title when he did. It was like 3 or 4 crossroads that it took to take Roman down. And at this point with Oba, that makes sense that it took that many BFTs to finally take this man down. And what I think this is leading to eventually is Obafemi finally getting called up to the main roster. In fact, I absolutely think that is exactly where this is going. And honestly, I think he's ready for main roster material. Like when I was on a live stream and all of that talking about it after the show, and the first thing that I commented was just imagine size wise Gunther versus Obafemi and how
Yeah.
big of a match that actually would be. So I actually think that the ending of this match was perfect. Ricky Saints finally took down Obafemi. About damn time somebody took it off of him. Because at this point, I think Oba's getting called up to the main roster. And unlike one certain champion we could bring up, I actually think he's ready to be pulled up to the main roster.
You're talking about Tiffany?
Yep, that is exactly who
Oh,
I'm talking
man.
about.
Damn. We can't have an episode of Snug Wrestling without some good old Tiffany hate, huh?
Nope.
Nah, yeah, Obafemi, yeah, that boy, he's good, man. He's really fucking good. Yeah, it would be cool to see him in the main roster, but you see him going to Raw or SmackDown?
I don't know. It overall could go either way. There are like big matches for him on both brands that could possibly happen. It's like
Yeah.
size wise, him versus Gunther. We could actually see a good match with him and Rusev, maybe. Like size wise, it makes sense. And for the people saying that they're upset that Ricky Saints became NXT champion because of the size, that's like saying Rey Mysterio can't be world champion because of his size. And guess what? He did, even for a short amount of time. He still became world champion back in the day. So,
Yeah, I mean, not only did, Ricky Saints slay the beast that it was Obafemi, but he had to fight for it. He had to earn it. He struggled, he crawled, he scratched, and you know, he was able to beat Obafemi. So Ricky Saints didn't just win this match and went over. He got over. Ricky Saints earned it in this match, I think, and that's Obafemi did a great job of, if he is really on his way out and going to the main roster, that is one hell of a way to put over the next NXT champion. That's Ricky Saints. But I'm glad you think the same way because I thought so. I thought it was a long time coming. I mean, I was familiar with Ricky Starks ever since he was in AEW, and I always thought he was really good. And then when he finally made the jump to WWE, I was like, oh my God, finally, And in just 6 months, it just shows how good he really is. The WWE sees it. They put the NXT championship on him. And I thought that was fucking great, man. So the only thing when it comes to Obafemi being called up to the main roster is there's that fucking cliche, the thing that they say, oh, people are so good on NXT until they get called up and Triple H fucks up their momentum. Do you think that could happen with Obafemi if he gets called up?
it honestly depends on who he goes up against. But then again, under H's eyesight and all of that, there have been multiple people who have been called up and or just put on the roster in general that have gotten a rocket put on her back. Like, for example, so we all thought that, well, not all of us, but still, some of us thought that originally when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer before she got called up. But guess what? She's now world champion, and there is now a rocket on that girl's back. So,
Yeah, that's not the case for everyone. Like, if you get called up, you know, it doesn't always happen where you get lost in the shuffle. Stephanie Vaquer is a perfect example. I would even argue Julia too, since she's the current women's United States champion, right?
even though it's very forgettable that that title even exists, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with her, really.
Yeah. Well, congrats to Ricky Saints. I'm pumped for him, man, especially with everything that's been happening with the invasion angle. Ricky Saints would, I mean, because he's their main champion, I think would also place him as the leader of this NXT invasion thing that they got going on with TNA. But that's just my guess. But we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of talent, speaking of, a really good match besides this main event match, what about the NXT North American Championship match? Tavion Heights versus Ethan Page. This is the first time that I saw Tavion Heights, and that fool is really fucking good. He's one hell of an athlete. And again, man, they had a great competitive match, I thought. Ethan Page, another guy like Ricky Saints who came from AEW, another guy that I would watch over there. And I'm just like, man, this dude is really fucking good. Also, he can talk on the mic, he looks great, and he can go on in the ring just like Ricky Saints. And NXT sees the same thing in Ethan Page by making him North American champion. He's also doing stuff in AAA. Another guy that I'm really excited about, and I thought Tavion was the perfect opponent for Ethan Page in this match. Two really fucking great athletes, I thought, man. I was really into this one, man. But what did you think?
This is not the first North American title match between these two, but overall, there was one not too long ago where it was a flag match. So all they had to do was take the flag off and then put their flag on. Hold on. So yeah, sorry, somebody
No
going
problem.
through the room. Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
but
Well, I can edit that out later.
yeah. So this whole thing, I was hyped for this. Ethan Page, as I've said before, right before we did like the predictions for AAA for his match there, he is a absolutely amazing heel. His heel work is phenomenal. And when I mentioned that whole Chelsea Green thing down in NXT, this is what I meant. There was a mixed tag match with Ethan Page tagging with Chelsea Green
Mm,
against Tavion and the winner from LFG season 1. God, I cannot
okay.
remember for the life of me what her name is. But
Yeah, I don't
that
even watch LFG, so I can't
yeah.
tell you.
So that whole thing, I was hyped for this because I knew the potential this match had, and it exceeded that extra mentally. It was absolutely phenomenal. I loved this match so damn much.
Yeah, me too, dude. This match was a fucking it was a one hell of a wrestling match, man. This was a wrestling match. And the only reason why I'm even familiar a little bit with Tavion Heights is because I saw some pictures that were going around on my Instagram that were like, oh, Wagner Jr. took off his mask and it was Tavion. And for a second, I'm like, is that actually who's been under the mask this whole time? I was not expecting Wagner Jr. to look to look like Tavion did. I was like, what the hell is going on? But no, it turned out to be, Tavion just pulling the fast one on Ethan Page. But I thought that was really funny. All right. So we talked about pretty much these two matches are probably the best ones in the whole entire card. Because everything from here to me was kind of hit or miss. The next one that we're gonna get into is the NXT Women's Championship match. Lola Vice versus JC Jane. JC Jane is the current women's championship. Lola Vice was the challenger for this match, and she was in her hometown. Her family was, there in the front row. So I'm thinking, okay, Lola Vice actually has a shot here. She has everything going for her going into this match, right? This is a championship match, right? But again, man, they just make Lola Vice too gimmicky, man. She comes out. This is arguably her most important match of her career. And, in her hometown with her family. And it's a championship match. And she comes out dancing. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But like that's her gimmick. She's the spicy Latina who has to come out swinging her hips and do. But bro, this is a championship match, dog. Like, they need to do something to make Lola Vice a little more serious because she is a serious fucking ass kicker. Like, she did MMA like for real, and she actually won some matches, and she's good, and she can go, but she's out there dancing and stuff, and I'm like, ugh, whatever. And then JC James comes out, and she's the heel, so she's a little bit more serious coming out in her entrance, and then the camera zooms in on her, and then she's posing and she's doing the faces and just like, oh my god, I'm like, are these girls here to fight? Are they here to wrestle? Or are they here to fucking pose and model around? And she's just like, just being so extra to me, and I'm just like, bro, just fucking start the match already. And as soon as the match started, everything kind of got better from there. They really got me in this match, dude, because Lola Vice was in her hometown. JC Jane was like talking shit to Lola Vice's family in the front row, which I thought was great. There was a lot of shenanigans here, Lola Vice was about to get the win, and then JC Jane's friend, who was ringside, pulls a referee. She gets thrown out, and then uh, and they made me really care about Lola Vice here. Like, I actually want to see Lola Vice win it. And then, someone comes wearing all black, takes out Lola Vice behind the referee's back. JC Jane retain. Um, yeah, man, I was expecting Lola Vice to win this one, but JC Jane got over on Lola Vice tonight. I thought the finish was really great. Tommy, what were your thoughts about this one?
I actually really liked this match. It actually gets me a little bit hyped for Tuesday because it's a possibility that we might find out who the hell that masked assailant was. Because I'm seriously wondering who the hell that was. I'm so used to like what happened with Becky Lynch, where she interfered all masked up, and then all of a sudden she unmasked. Like, that's what I'm so used to because main roster is drowned that in my skull. But I'm actually getting really, really hyped because of that for Tuesday. Hopefully, we find out who the hell was underneath that mask. Lola, absolutely love her. Loved everything she did here because it's Lola. She's tough. She's quick. All of that. She's definitely skilled. So Lola is Lola. But the amount of like backhands that this took, it took quite a bit. And I absolutely love that. How both ends ended up using that move on each other. Surprise, surprise, fatal influence got involved because, JC Jane can't win without them. Now, can they? Now, can she? But I am honestly hyped for Tuesday to find out who the hell that was.
Yeah, there was a funny moment in the match where Booker T was really putting over JC Jane. Thank you for the house, JC Jane. And who was the other announcer? I can't remember his fucking name, but He was like, "Oh, are you the new member of JC Jane's faction or something like that?" So they are adding. It looks like they are going to be adding a new member to what are they called? Fatal Influence or what was it?
Yeah, it's Fatal Influence.
Okay. So yeah, so we got that to look forward to.
And that
Um,
was Vic Joseph, I think.
that's the announcer, the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, dude, one hell of a way to finish this match, man. Poor little Vice, man, in her hometown, in front of her family, and she still couldn't pull it off. So that was unexpected and really fun to see. And apparently, the women's speed championship is being defended now on NXT TV. Since when?
Since Speed shut down on X, Ava
Oh,
announced that NXT will be taking over the Speed titles. Makes me
oh,
wonder whether or not we are actually going to see El Grande Americano in NXT, since he is the current men's Speed champion. I don't know.
okay. Why did it get shut down? I didn't even know about this. I didn't hear about it.
I have no clue why it got shut down. My guess is like lack of viewers, maybe because of the fact that it was exclusively on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's my guess on why it was shut down.
And it
But
was like on
NXT is taking it
Wednesdays.
over.
And it was like on Wednesdays, wasn't it? Or what day were
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
I believe it was Wednesdays.
It was like Wednesday, the middle of the day, which were basically dark matches. You know, like they usually did the speed matches before Raw and SmackDown would air, and then they would tape them and then play them on X on like Wednesdays, like in the middle of the day or some random ass time like that. So it's like, yeah, no one wants to see that. I'm sorry, but I never went out of my way to watch a speed match. Like I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this match on speed, you know. So good riddance. But yeah. And where
The
the
only
match
ones that I watched was the actual title matches themselves and not the tournaments leading up to it.
oh, okay. And were they always 5 minutes? Because this match with Sol Ruka and Laney Reed was 5 minutes. I could have sworn there were three, right?
It's either 3 or 5. It's leading up to it. It's anywhere between that. But the point of these matches is that they're supposed to be short because there is a time limit to them.
Yeah, hence the name Speed. But even though this was a speed match and a 5 minute limit, it felt like it dragged and dragged and dragged forever. Didn't we have wait, it wasn't Laney Reed. It
No,
was
it's Jada Parker.
it was yeah, because I remember seeing Jada Parker on the show and I'm thinking Laney Reed wasn't medically cleared, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
happened.
announced on the countdown show that Laney Reed was not medically cleared to compete, but we didn't know who it was until the entrances.
Oh, it was a surprise entrance. Okay. Yeah, man. Well, still, I mean, even though it is Jada Parker, I've seen her have some pretty good matches, and Mr. Blood loves Sol Ruka, so I hear nothing but great things about her. And after seeing this match, I don't know why Mr. Blood loves her so much, but yeah, this match was like 5 minutes long. It ended with Sol Ruka retaining because Lash Legend got involved and caused a distraction on Jada Parker. And this was a angle that they did to set up a match between Jada Parker and Lash Legend or a feud or something like that. But like, I Sol Ruka is a double champion, right? She has like the women's North American championship also.
Yep.
And she's the speed champion and she's walking around with two belts. One of them doesn't really mean much of anything. I mean, it's the speed champion, you know, the title that no one saw get defended on TV unless you watched it on X, and now they're doing it on NXT, and it's just like, who fucking cares? Like, why? Just so you can say, oh, Sol Ruka is a double champion? I don't
Yeah.
fucking
When
know, but
Speed was shut down, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen with those titles? And that was before Ava announced that NXT was taking them over. Because of the fact that even before that, as soon as she became Speed Champion, she wore both of them like a sash. Like one of them was on her back, one of them was across her front.
Mm-hmm.
So I was mainly wondering what was going to happen with these titles. Now we've known for the past few months.
Yeah. Grande Americano, he's too over to be defending a speed championship that no one cares about on NXT. Like they wouldn't even show the NXT that speed championship belt on TV. You know, when Andrade had it, he would show up on, SmackDown tapings, but he didn't have the
Ludwig Kaiser.
championship. Huh?
Ludwig Kaiser.
What about him?
He is El Grande Americano. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, we've been over this millions of times. I've proved you guys wrong so many times, but
No, you haven't. It's called editing.
I've seen several pictures of Ludwig standing right next to the Grande Americano
Editing
millions
is a
of times.
thing.
Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah, man, I don't need to see him defending a speed championship unless the WWE comes out with some fucking crazy idea of like, oh, you know how we get people to care about the speed title? Let's have El Grande Americano defend it. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. Just like I didn't need to see this match right here between Sol Ruka and Jada Parker. It just seemed like a filler match. Like, hey, let's just throw that in here real quick for a little bit. But there's really not much I can say about like the actual match. It was whatever. Is there anything that stood out to you about this match between Sol Ruka and Jada Parker?
Not really. I mean, it's just a basic speed match. It's literally just a come over from platform to platform type of thing. So there really
Mhm.
wasn't much to it.
Okay. All right. Javon Evans, he wrestled again after, wrestling Sami Zayn for the United States Championship Open Challenge for one hell of a match. He wrestled No Mercy literally the night after versus Josh Briggs. And I don't know who Josh Briggs is. I've never seen him before. This is a first for me because I only watch NXT's like pay-per-views and PLEs, right? And my first impression of Josh Briggs was this guy. He looks like I'm just judging him based on this one match that I've seen. It's so plain and boring and just like nothing there. He doesn't even look intimidating. He has like this weird like biker look, but I'm like, this guy is one of the cleanest looking bikers I've ever seen. Like here, there's just his gear too was just whatever. And this is supposed to be like a big, he's a big guy, right? And I guess it makes sense to put someone like Javon Evans, who's smaller, more high flying, to defeat this big guy Josh Briggs. But I'm like, this guy's big, but he doesn't feel like, okay, this guy's intimidating. Oh, he's gonna beat the crap out of Javon Evans, the guy that we love. He's just blah. That's it. That's what I saw. So yeah, this match went really long too. It was the opening match too. And after seeing what Javon Evans did with Sami Zayn, and then you go to the PLE, which is supposed to be even, I don't know, somewhat important match. It just didn't feel like that at all, man. Obviously, his match versus Sami Zayn was a lot better. This was just Javon Evans won as he should, but it wasn't. It wasn't the best that I've seen from Javon Evans, unfortunately.
Yeah, but Javon was absolutely the MVP of this match, though. Like,
Hmm.
Josh Briggs is stiff. That's his problem. He's not as smooth as Javon is. So I look at this, I'm like, Josh, how about you loosen a little bit? Cause no, this
Yeah.
overall was not a good representation of what Javon Evans can do. Because he can
Hmm.
definitely work, that's for damn sure. He proved that against Sami Zayn literally the night before. So I look at this, and it's very clear that this was not a good representation of what Javon can do because of how stiff Josh Briggs was.
Yeah, definitely, clash in styles here in this match, man. It wasn't the prettiest match. It was rough to watch. There's some parts too where just Josh Briggs, man, was the one that I had the problem with here trying to get into this match. I'm just like, oh my god, just hurry up and just get to the finish already. And then they would keep going, and then I'm like, ah. And then right when I thought it was gonna end, and they kept going. This shit was like 20 minutes long. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I'm glad Javon Evans got the win. That's for sure. Well, because it's no mercy, we got a weaponized steel cage match. Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe. And this is like, okay, you already have a steel cage. Do you also have to add weapons on top of that as well? That's like the steel cage isn't dangerous enough for this feud. We got to add weapons and the steel cage. All right. But you know, things got they got interesting to me when fucking Blake Monroe pulled out scissors, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is she gonna stab her with the scissors or something? Like, is this AEW fucking Ricochet stabbing people in the head with scissors? Or I didn't know what Blake Monroe was gonna do, and knowing her because I've seen her do some crazy shit in AEW, I wouldn't put it past Blake Monroe if she fucking started just swinging those scissors at Jordan Grace, but it was actually to cut her hair. Jordan Grace was tied up, quote unquote, and I use that term loosely because she was clearly not tied up on the fucking ropes. But the hair dryer, by the way, yes, there was a fucking hair dryer in this match for some reason. And while Jordan Grace was tied up, the ultimate disrespect, Blake Monroe cuts off Jordan Grace's hair, and oh hell no, that really pissed off Jordan Grace. And then from there, it got a lot more interesting as far as like they turned up the volume here. The energy got more intense because everyone can relate to that. Oh fuck, I would be pissed off if someone cut my hair. You know, what is Jordan Grace gonna do now? Oh, she's gonna beat the crap out of her. So that it got good up until that point, and then the big finish was they climbed to the top of the cage, and then Blake Monroe uh throws the powder on Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace was still able to hit it was like a sidewalk slam of some sort from the top of the cage into a table. And Jordan Grace got the win, which she seemed really happy about that. So it was I had like a love-hate relationship with this match, Tommy, but what did you think?
I actually liked it. I really did. It's been a hot minute since the last time we had a weaponized cage match. It honestly worked, especially with these two. Because
Mm,
what you don't know is the entire reason why this has been a weaponized cage match specifically is because when Blake Monroe isn't trying to run away from Jordan Grace, she is doing whatever she can to use any weapon she possibly can, which is why this was a weaponized cage match. Now, when it comes to Jordan, she's as good as she always is. She's as good as she was when she was in TNA. She's just great. Blake Monroe is honestly where I have my problem. was. Just Blake in general, I look at her, I'm like, why? Why are you here? You're not going to be able to run away at all, which is your main thing. When it comes to having weapons, it's very clear that you are outstrengthed in every possible way. So, why are you trying to stick it to Jordan Grace right now? Is it literally just because of the fact that you betrayed her all of a sudden, like a month, 2 months ago? Because that is the only reason why I could think why this match even exists, is
Mhm.
because Jordan Grace was still pissed off about that. But this match, I actually really, really liked.
Yeah, it wasn't for a championship or anything. It was you know, it was a feud that they've been building up to. So yeah, for all those reasons, I guess it makes sense to have a fucking steel cage or a weaponized steel cage. But you said we haven't seen one in a while. When was the last time we saw one of these matches before, Tommy?
Hold on, let me look it up. Oh, not the Jordan Grace one. Why the hell are you giving me the most recent one? I cannot remember for the life of me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember either, but yeah. Um, but yeah, dude, that was we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches on this card for NXT No Mercy. Yeah, NXT they have some good PLEs, man. I really enjoy watching them for the most part, but there was also an announcement. Ava Marie is her name, right? She's like the commissioner for NXT or whatever.
Yes, and she is also The Rock's daughter, which is
Yeah.
honestly why I think she was given that role.
Yeah, that girl. She made an announcement about there's going to be an NXT invasion October 7th, I believe, right? Was the date?
Yes,
Okay.
and it
So
is
we're going to
just called Invasion.
Yeah, wasn't that a name for a PLE though? Now they're just using it on a fucking random NXT taping?
I think it was at one point.
I think it was like back in like the Ruthless Aggression era. They had a whole pay-per-view called Invasion, if I'm not mistaken. I was kind of hoping that they would do another PLE called Invasion. That would have been cool, but I guess they want to. Oh, you know what? You know why they did it on NXT? Because I think that same day AEW is doing their title Tuesday. So they want to have a big fucking event and, go all out so they can counter program them.
The last one was in 2001. No, March to November of 2001 for Invasion.
Yeah. See, I thought it was weird. I'm like, why are they doing this on a Tuesday on their regular fucking show? When if they did this whole thing with TNA versus NXT on a PLE, people would eat that up. People would definitely tune in to watch that.
Especially with an old name like that being reused. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but nah, they're counter programming AEW, or AEW is counter programming NXT, I should say, because AEW, they only do Title Tuesday like once a year or something like that. Tuesdays are not usually AEW days, is what I'm saying. But, they're doing their Title Tuesday. So NXT is like, all right, well, shit, let's do this big invasion angle then, right?
Yeah, only because of the fact that last week TNA literally invaded NXT, which was honestly one of the weakest ones because it was just a random, hey, let's go attack them right at the end of their match. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen. It wasn't just random. They have been building up to it, even on TNA, because I was watching TNA like for the past couple months, and it seemed like this is where they were heading. It was only a matter of time before TNA showed up on NXT, and it makes sense the timing of it because War Games is not that far away, and yeah, man, it was only a matter of time.
Especially with both of their world titles being held by NXT members.
Yeah, dude, and
You've got
looking
Trick
at this,
Williams with the men, and then you've got, as of recently, Kalani Jordan with the women's knockouts title.
yeah, that's right. And I can't help but like from where I'm standing watching this, I'm kind of rooting for TNA in this whole thing. And that's probably what the WWE wants because they're trying to get, TNA over as not just their individual talent, but like as a company. They're really baby facing TNA, I feel like, oh, look at these fucking NXT guys, girls with our championships. Oh my God, and then Trick Williams is a heel. And no, obviously, when he shows up on TNA, Trick Williams is getting booed. And you got guys like Santana and Joe Hendry, which the people love, coming after Trick Williams. Now Kalani Jordan has a TNA championship, and it's like, oh, another NXT girl has our titles. Like they, and what pisses me off is like people are saying, oh, look at uh, NXT, WWE. They're putting all the championships on them. They're making TNA look bad, and it's like, no, they actually want the fans to care about TNA and feel for them and cheer for them. And when they get those championships back, it's going to be like a big deal. So I think they're just really trying to babyface TNA. I can't help
This
but
is the
point that
first
out.
time that an invasion arc has taken place since WWE was called WWF.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man, a lot of interesting things going down in NXT. I got to be honest, man. And now that Ricky Saints is their champion, I wonder. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. So yeah, I would definitely be keeping a close eye on NXT here as the weeks progress. But yeah, that's what went down at No Mercy. So yeah, thanks Tommy for hanging out tonight, and thanks to everyone that was watching with us. We'll be back tomorrow again for we're gonna be covering Monday Night Raw, and at some point, not this week, I think next week we're gonna be doing predictions for Crown Jewel. We got Friday
Yeah,
Night
you told me next
SmackDown.
Wednesday.
Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff here coming up here in Snug Wrestling. So we'll see you guys soon. Until next time, you guys have a good
I
good
guess
rest of
since
your night.
our boys Toxic and Blood ain't here, I'm doing this solo. That was one time for the one time. 4 letters. 1 word. Yeet.
No, you
Shut up.